I think you might be one of the few. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think you might be one of the few that went from squiggles to punks, and Snowfro have had something to do with that, right?
Yep. Yeah. So when I minted the squiggles, I found out about squiggles through Andrew Steinwald. He told me about them, and so they were still minting at the time. I believe I think they were in the 1700s. And I remember looking at them, and I was like, okay, like again, like this is coming from the thought process of I wanted to get X percentage, X amount that I would spend, and I would spend up until that in each project and go from project. Because again, my thesis at that time was the majority of these projects are going to be considered historic. I don't know which ones will stand the test of time, but there will be at least a few that stand the test of time. And so when I found out about Squiggles, I remember I went to their Twitter. There was no link to the Discord because I was trying to figure out how to batch mint because I just wanted to like mint a bunch of them and not think about it again. And I just sat there in front of my computer and I was just minting for like 45 minutes. And at this point, I had already gone into like a couple different Discords and I was sweeping a couple floors. And somebody recognized my wallet and they sent me the link to the Art Blocks Discord. And I went in there after like minting for like 45 minutes straight. And like you have to remember, I was minting like 1700s, I think is when I started. And I was like, all right, well, rarity aside, I'm like, maybe people care about numbers. So the 1700s, I was like, I'm just gonna mint straight from the 1700s to like 2100. I think it was like something like that because I'm like, I'll get people. Some people will want their parents' year, or some people want like the year America was founded, their birth year, the year they got married, the year their kid was born, whatever it is. And I was like, I'm just gonna keep on minting. So I was just sitting there and I was minting for like 45 minutes straight. And like obviously when I got to like certain numbers, a lot of people would mint as well. And so like there'd be like a gap. So like maybe I'd get like 10 or 11 in a row. And then there was one number that everybody, like for instance, 2000 was one that everybody wanted. And so like I think I was getting like a bunch in a row. And then like 2000 comes and I think I get like 2012 and then 2020 or something, right? And then like get a bunch in a row or whatever. And so no, I didn't get 2020. Somebody else did, but it was just kind of funny because afterwards I was just kind of going through the Discord and just seeing like, I think I'm not sure if it was Snowfro or somebody else. They were out to dinner, and because I just started this minting spree, they like had to like rush home to try to get the number that they wanted. And so, and I didn't know this until after the fact. And then, I think maybe like an hour or two later, I think I had Von Mises in my DMs trying to buy. I think it was a hyper. He like offered me like 1 ETH or something. I'm like, no. I'm like, I don't need the money. But like, it was just very funny. And so like, I learned really early on. I'm like, oh wait, like don't sell anything to that guy. That guy's that I want to go. I think I actually, after he tried to buy that hyper from me, I maybe tried to buy a hyper from somebody else. Like I saw that they minted it, and so I think I offered them like a half ETH or something. Maybe not a hyper, it might have been something else. But I offered them something for it, and it's funny because like like a year or two later, they were like, yeah, like I minted that. That was their first mint, and they minted like a rare squiggle, and I bought it off them, and that was that's the reason they got into NFTs because I gave him like a half a ETH or ETH for something he spent like $30 for, and then like he became like really active in the ETH ecosystem because of that. So really cool stories. I mean, it's just really really dope to
Yeah,
be
there's a
part
whole
of.
bunch of you sharks early on trying to rare squiggles off of one another. It's been a common theme in some of these interviews. It's fun to hear everybody's perspective.
Yeah, like I learned real quick. I was like, oh, that guy's shark. That guy's a shark. I'm like, I'm not. But also, it's like I knew I didn't. For me, it wasn't a flip. Like I wasn't looking to like make $1,000 or like at the time it was $500, right? And so it's like to me, it's like, yeah, this is either going to be worth a couple $1,000 in a few years. And I'll be honest, like I did not expect Squiggles to go where they went, right? And so and I didn't even get to the punks part. So after I'm in the Discord, and Snowfro hits me up. He goes, "What are you doing? Like, stop wasting your money on Squiggles. Like, you need to buy like a zombie." He goes, you need to buy a crypto. He goes, you need to buy like an elite punk. Like you can't buy just like a floor punk. He's like, because he saw how much I spent on Squiggles. He's like, buy a zombie. And so over the course of the next few days, it was so Justin Trimble helped, but it was mostly Nate, Alex, and Snowfro that red pilled me on punks, and I ended up buying a zombie from Nate Alex for he was like 20K, 22K or something like that. And then I was looking for that ape, and that ape I bought like a month later, and that's when I wrote that thread.